What's your favorite food? I'm willing to bet it's probably not jellyfish. That's right, we're talking about that ooey gooey sea creature that ruins your beach day. There are more than 2,000 known species of jellyfish, and they've been floating in the ocean for at least 500 million years. But should they be on our plate? In today's video, we're gonna find out. First things first, can you eat them? Yes, but not all species are safe for human consumption. Out of the thousands of different species of jellyfish out there, about 11 are considered safe for humans to eat. It's a $1 million business in Southeast Asia, and Western cultures are starting to warm up to the idea of jellyfish as food. Jellyfish are generally low when it comes to nutritional content, and marine life tend to treat them like a snack to tide them over more than a meal. However, there are many animals that eat them, ranging from penguins, crabs, and ducks. So why not humans, right? Typically, when jellyfish are caught, they must be cleaned and stored quickly, otherwise they're likely to spoil. Since there are many microorganisms that live in the ocean and possibly on the freshly caught jellyfish, it's important to get them from a trusted source. It has to be thoroughly cleaned and processed in order to be safe to eat. There are a few ways of doing this, but just make sure that you're getting it from a trusted source. Which brings us to our next point. How do you eat it? Well, if you look online, there are tons of recipes for jellyfish. Even though these brainless floating organisms look like jello, they have an unusual texture. Jellyfish are often described as chewy or even crunchy. When buying jellyfish, you want to look for some that's either white or yellowish in color. As it ages, it'll turn from white to yellow to brown. Once it's gone brown, it's not safe to eat anymore, and you'll have to throw it out. You can buy jellyfish dehydrated, but it's often recommended that you desalt and rehydrate it before you dig in. Otherwise, you're in for a really salty food experience. In general, jellyfish seems to be pretty salty, even though a cup of the gelatinous creature contains less than 5 calories. Both the umbrella part and the arms are edible, and they're already widely consumed in parts of Asia and Italy. One chef says jellyfish reminds him of oysters, and when you eat them, you experience a taste of the ocean as they're made up of 90% water. Now that you know what to look for, why would you ever want to eat a jellyfish? This brings us to our next question. Should we eat them? It turns out that we might see jellyfish on a menu sooner than later. Jellyfish are a huge global problem. They're wreaking havoc in our oceans as jellyfish blooms are increasing in intensity, duration, and frequency. Not only that, they are the perfect pest and are incredibly hard to kill. They range from a millimeter in size to meters across. The bad news is that climate change has created the perfect conditions for jellyfish to thrive. One of the biggest contributors to the warming of our oceans. Warm water is a jellyfish's best friend. It can cause them to grow faster, boost their metabolism, and reproduce at a faster rate. Climate change is also attacking the predators of jellyfish, which means that jellyfish have less and less competition and can continue to grow in numbers. This overpopulation of jellyfish affects humans in a variety of ways, but one story shows the damage these jellies can do. They have the power to shut down nuclear reactors. The Torness Power Station in Scotland had to shut down because of the jellyfish that were sucked up in the seawater that the plant draws to cool the reactors. Any system that uses seawater for cooling has the potential to run into a jellyfish problem like this one. Not to mention, swarms of jellyfish can decimate the fish populations overnight, as they can eat a number of different types of organisms. Another part of the issue is that they're affecting tourism as well. No one wants to swim in jellyfish-infested water, and people certainly don't want to get stung. The Mediterranean reports upwards of 150,000 people being treated for jellyfish stings each summer. We don't want to be all doom and gloom, but the worst problem of all when it comes to these pesky blobs is that they're one of the hardest organisms to kill. If you chop a jellyfish into pieces, those pieces will then regrow into new jellyfishes themselves. Instead of one jellyfish, you now have 3 or 4. The only real way to deal with this jellyfish problem is to fix the imbalance in the climate that's causing jellyfish to spawn at an alarming rate, or eat them. The overwhelming number of jellyfish are a sign that something is out of balance in our oceans, but there are few projects in place, like the Go Jelly project, that's trying to turn this problem into an opportunity. Scientists are collaborating on ways we can sustainably use these problematic jellies, which includes education on why eating them is so good for the planet, but also will propose new strategies to combat plastic pollution and find ways to use jellyfish raw material in products. Because jellyfish are reproducing at such a fantastic rate, they're now one of the most sustainable sources of food. Already, places like Italy are jumping on board with jellyfish salad to fried jellyfish. So if you're open-minded, do order up a plate of fried jelly. What are the health benefits? Depending on the type of jellyfish you eat, they can be linked to helping with high blood pressure, arthritis, bone pain, ulcers, and digestive issues. Jellyfish are not only low in calories, they're actually a pretty great source of healthy nutrients. Again, it depends on the type of jellyfish you're consuming, but generally, they're low in calories, provide you with antioxidants, protein, and important minerals like selenium, which can reduce the risk of illnesses like heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, and different forms of cancer, and can aid your metabolism and thyroid function. Choline, which is an essential and hard-to-get nutrient that can help support your nervous system, which has been linked to improving brain function with better memory, and has also been linked with a few small studies reporting a reduction in anxiety. And iron, showing 1 cup of jellyfish can provide you with about 7% of your daily value. Another health benefit of eating jellyfish is the fact that it's a good source of collagen. Collagen is what keeps you looking young. It plays a huge role in the structure of our tissues in the skin, bones, and tendons. Eating collagen from jellyfish might help you look younger, as it can improve your skin's elasticity and might even help you with joint pain. However, we should mention that most of these benefits need to be studied further, as there are limited trials on humans. What are the risks? First thing you have to be on the lookout for is the type of jellyfish. It's unlikely that you'll find toxic jellyfish for sale in any grocery store or restaurant, but keep in mind only a few species of jellyfish are actually edible. That being said, of the ones you can eat, there are a few things to watch out for. The first thing is allergies. Unless you were born in Asia, it's unlikely you've been exposed to jellyfish at a young age, so the risk of being allergic is definitely one to consider, especially if you already have had allergies to seafood. The next thing is foodborne illnesses from bacteria. Like we mentioned earlier in this video, you want to make sure that your jellyfish are from a trusted source. It has to undergo certain processes in order to be deemed safe to eat. Will it catch on? The idea that jellyfish is an exciting new food might be the only way it'll ever be accepted into Western menus. That or an endorsement from a celebrity chef or cooking show like MasterChef. So, in the end, if you're someone who has a taste for something new, maybe jellyfish should be on your radar. The edible species have a substantial number of beneficial nutrients. They basically have no brains and are, presently, one of the most sustainable food sources in our oceans. You don't have to travel to Asia to try jellyfish anymore, as it's considered a delicacy in Italy. But soon, you might find it popping up in your local grocery store. Have you ever eaten jellyfish? Would you try it? Let us know in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you.